It's just theft. It's the government just stealing. And they can, and there's very little recourse, if any. There's no due process. It's just they can come in and just take your stuff. And to me, that is the modern day weapon of the white supremacy system to basically make it so that Black communities cannot create generational wealth. It's just one more way to suppress their ability to create generational wealth, which is the biggest problem, which is why we need reparations.
And I think, well, you took the words out of my mouth.
Well, that's
a great segue. Well, I'm in this conversation too.
I'm sorry.
You know, the two of you guys should have just done a podcast together, and I should have been. Okay, I should have just been the moderator.
All right, sorry.
No, I think that this is a great segue to reparations. I think it's a very important topic, and I think people really don't understand what it means. There is this misconception, and again, you know how corporate media propaganda works. They like to show the you know, when Obama and Romney, I can remember, were running for president, they were showing people in the urban blighted areas were giving away free cell phones and like, see, this is what you think reparations is. No, reparations is banks investing in communities that need investment, not in communities that don't need it. Most of the banks want to invest in communities that are already thriving. It is the communities that are not thriving that need to have jobs created there. That, you know, we were just in Little Haiti in Miami the other day. I mean, you could see how desolate it is and how, you know, people don't want to be there, and the only option is either live desolate or gentrify it. There's not this, let's grow the community and figure out a way to make it better. That's the concept of reparations. And I'm curious from your perspective, what reparations look like. From my perspective, it's having the banks invest in the communities that need it so they can build generational wealth. How do you see it?
Yeah, there's a lot of different discussion about what forms reparation could take. There's obviously a lot of discussion of payment themselves, and then what you brought up, rebuilding the community. But my main thing is something has to be done and cannot be small. And that's what I'm worried about. Like, I feel like the Black Liberals and Democratic Party will find a way to try and negotiate this, even if this worked, because it had to be something substantial. And the biggest misconception that a lot of people have, and you get this mostly from conservatives, but the problem is there are a lot of liberals that don't support either. If you look at the numbers, they're probably not honest why. Because what the average conservative will say, it was like, you wasn't a slave. That was hundreds of years ago. You guys gotta get over it. That was long. Yeah. How are we gonna pay you guys reparations for something? It never ended. It never ended. And it's also this, and
this is my statement for everybody. If you are living in this country, you are a beneficiary of slave labor. It is that simple. So it doesn't matter. And I say this all the time because my ancestors were Jews that were fleeing from Russia for their lives as their businesses were being set on fire from the pogrom. So like my people didn't own anybody. My people were the fleeing people. But yet I am a beneficiary of an entire system that is premised on white supremacy. It's that simple. So, and once you accept that, you have to understand that the only way this can ever be okay is if we repair as best we can and make people as whole as we can. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. Like I cannot, this is my sort of like more hippie spiritual vibe kind of coming through. But like, I truly believe that if we don't repair this, we cannot thrive as a people. That's just
that's a giant point that reparation activists always make, because it's more than just the money. This is the acknowledgement and the healing process. I mean, there will always be that tension there, and this is something that will be acknowledged, because people who were victims, and I'm happy about this, but the people who were victims of Japanese internment camps, they got reparations for that. But they can get reparation for that, but we can't get reparation for being a victim of the previous Jim Crow and the new Jim Crow. Because once again, people are like, oh, there's slavery a long time ago. Well, how did that affect me? So what you laid out was 100% accurate. And that's a brilliant way to handle that objection. It's amazing. But another way I handle it is like, bro, it never ended in the first place. Because of what I literally just went on a long explanation of why Black wealth is worse now than it was in the 60s. Like, this is a part of the reparation process. The fact that Black Americans were being illegally foreclosed on by Wall Street, and then they let them go. Eric Holder and Barack Obama let them go. The fact that Democrats had worked in tandem with Wall Street when they were legally foreclosed on Black homes, they were charging us. You guys know that Black Americans would charge higher interest rate for housing for decades? A lot of things
like that. I learned, there's a book, I have to recommend this before I forget. It's new. It's called The Whiteness of Wealth. And it's a woman. Her name is, I believe her last name is Brown. I actually wanted to get her on the show. I reached out, but she just didn't seem that interested. But one of the things is, I think she lays out, she's a lawyer, like a money lawyer, basically, at Emory University. And this book is really about all the financial ways that our supremacist system have hurt the Black community. Basically everything from tax codes to education loans to employment, like just all the financial core. And one of the things that she posits is she really does talk about, like, how could we realistically do reparations? And one of the best things I got from her was through the tax code. You start giving tax credits, you start giving, so you give the money by not taking the money. And the way our tax code was written, and this is fascinating to me, is so obviously it won't be shocking to you, basically to benefit white people. And one of the examples that she gives is, imagine there's two households and both households have $100,000. The white household has a single earner of $100,000 and a stay-at-home wife. The Black household is more likely to have two working individuals making closer to an equal amount of money. So it would be like a 50-50 household. They are paying more in taxes than the $100,000 household that is more traditionally what a white household would traditionally be. So our tax code is written to benefit white choices, is how she phrased it in this book. And that would be a good, to me, inroad to maybe handling some of the reparations issues financially, at least, is through the tax system and credits and stuff like that. And that's way above my pay grade. But
yeah, that's brilliant stuff. And obviously I'm not well versed in like the tax code and all that stuff, but the thing, my main point is, we have the money, guys.
Yeah.
Like, why not just take the money we just increase? I'm not saying take it from the military budget, but the money we increase the budget by.
Right.
Unnecessary
increase.
No,
I would take it from the military budget. Our military budget needs to be cut in half by at least.
See, this is why we're on the same page. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's absurd. And
so my point is that you bring up a lot of good ideas on how to get this done. But my position is, we got the money, figure it out. That's your guy's job.
It needs to be figured out by Black people. Yeah. And I think that's the key thing, is it needs to be in terms of how the money benefits the communities. That needs to be determined by Black people. How you go about collecting the money, that has to let the government figure out how they want to do it. I personally believe in MMT, so it's really not a matter of that anyway.
Yeah, but and that's what, and this also in this same discussion, because I say reparation, Medicare for all, most pro-Black policies, and this is why it's important to have an entire Black agenda, because reparations is very important. But you can get capitalists to support reparations because they know that money will go right back into the medical debt problem that we were talking about. So that could be easily a part of reparations, getting rid of the medical debt, because that's why you got people like Tom Steyer that support reparations. You can get capitalists.
A debt jubilee would be a very significant step for people.
Yeah, exactly. So you can get these people to support these ideas, because, like, all right, that means that money just go right to our rent. We need real solutions, and we need to be smart about that. So you're 100% right about that, Jen.
Yeah, and it's also very important that, when people are trying to understand how this thing just sort of like boomerangs in many ways, investing in the community will grow the economy. It will thrive the economy.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.